Einstein said it was impossible. He called it spooky action at a distance. He claimed it violated the fundamental laws of the universe, and he went to his grave praying it wasn't true. But researchers at Yale and Google just proved him wrong. They confirmed that information can teleport across the universe instantly. As Yale Daily News reports, teleportation and quantum entanglement may sound like aspects of a sci-fi novel, but researchers from the Yale Quantum Institute are exploring these very real phenomena in order to refine the tools that will lead to a more stable quantum computer. And Google just used this forbidden physics to do the impossible. They built a machine that solved a problem in 5 minutes that would take a normal supercomputer 10 septillion years to finish. As Google Quantum founder Hartmut Neven announced, Willow performed a standard benchmark computation in under 5 minutes that would take one of today's fastest supercomputers 10 septillion years, a number that vastly exceeds the age of the universe. But here's the part that should keep you up at night. You can do this too. Have you ever known something was going to happen moments before it actually happened? A friend calls the moment you think of them. Your stomach tightens 1 second before everything goes wrong. An idea drops into your mind fully formed without an ounce of effort. You thought it was intuition. You thought it was a coincidence. But physics says it was a quantum event. It does not care about distance. It happens through a hidden structure that every human carries inside their mind. This is not theory. It's not sci-fi. It's not wishful thinking. It is you. You see, a Nobel Prize winner has confirmed what the mainstream spent decades ignoring. Your brain isn't a computer. It's a quantum antenna capable of bending reality. You possess a machine 1,886 times more powerful than the one Google just spent billions to build. But right now, you aren't using it. Not because you failed, not because you are unlucky, and certainly not because you lack the talent. It's because you were conditioned to shut it down. Maybe you remember the exact moment, a look, a comment, the first time someone made you feel like you didn't quite belong. And in that moment, a safety protocol kicked in. You started filtering yourself, editing your instincts, second-guessing the quiet voice that used to guide you. Year after year, that signal got weaker, until one day, you stopped hearing it altogether. You called this process growing up, but it wasn't growth. It was system override, a systematic silencing of the most powerful part of you. But today, we're going to turn it back on. Based on a scientific breakthrough, I'll reveal here for the first time something the mainstream media has completely ignored. We're going to flip the switch back to God mode and access your powers of intuition and foresight you were told didn't exist. My name is Dr. Thomas Sterling, and for 34 years, I taught the same lie every neuroscientist repeats. The brain fires, neurons wire, skills form, memories store. We believed intelligence was fixed at birth. We believed reality was limited to what the 5 senses could touch and see. I spent my career treating the human brain like a biological calculator, but there was always a problem. The calculator model couldn't explain the anomalies. I couldn't explain why some people seemed to be luck magnets, effortlessly attracting money and love, while others struggle for every inch. It couldn't explain the flashes of knowledge people receive before a car accident. It couldn't explain the gut feeling that saves your life, or knowing something is going to happen before it happens. Calculators can't do that, but you can. So I went looking for the missing hardware, the part of you that allows for God mode. And what I found didn't just shock me, it forced me to betray my entire industry. The answer was in a 2017 paper from Oxford's Department of Pharmacology, one that never made headlines because it contradicted everything textbooks said about how the brain works. It confirmed that the antenna I told you about is real, and it is hiding inside your neurons right now. You see, for decades, scientists ignored these tiny crystalline structures inside your brain cells called microtubules, and according to the British Society of Cellular Biology, they're about 23 nanometers wide by 200 nanometers long. They thought they were just scaffolding, structural support to hold the cells together. They were wrong. They were looking at a fiber optic cable and calling it a rope. It took Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Sir Roger Penrose to see what everyone else missed. He suspected these weren't just bones for the cells. He believed they were computation devices. For years, the scientific establishment mocked him. They called it impossible. Then a research team at Wellesley College proved him right. They confirmed that microtubules don't just support your neurons, they control consciousness itself. And here's what changes everything. Microtubules emit and receive information in waves, not electrical signals, waves. They are quantum receivers designed to vibrate in harmony with the universe. Think of it this way. You have 100 billion neurons. Inside each one, 10,000 tiny quantum antennas. Google spent $5 billion building a quantum computer with 72 qubits. You're walking around with 1 quadrillion, and it exists for one purpose: to connect you to the field of infinite possibility. When these antennas are working, you don't just think, you receive. Great ideas arrive fully formed. You find yourself in the right place at the right time. Money and opportunities seem to find you. It feels like magic, but it is just physics. Which begs the question, if you are walking around with a quantum supercomputer in your head, why do you feel stuck? Why does everything feel like a struggle? Why does luck seem to find everyone except you? As a scientist, I had to know what robbed us of this power, and the answer is terrifying. It's called the Great Neural Shutdown. You see, NASA once commissioned a landmark study to identify the source of creative genius. They hired a scientist named Dr. George Land to build a test for future rocket scientists. But first, they tested a group of 1,600 5-year-olds. The results were staggering. 98% of them scored at creative genius levels. These kids were naturally tuned into the quantum field. They had access to effortless imagination, limitless curiosity, and impossible ideas. By the time they were teenagers, it fell to 12%. And brace yourself for the final number. When they gave the same test to adults, less than 2% still had access to this super brain power. Do you see what that means? It means you weren't born average, you were born a genius, and the 98% of your potential was systemically shut down. You were forced out of quantum mode, where anything is possible, and trapped in survival mode, where you fight just to get by. How did this happen? It wasn't random, it was the noise. From the moment you entered school, you were told to sit still, stop daydreaming, pay attention, grow up. Then came adulthood, the bills, the deadlines, the stress, the 24-hour news cycle screaming that the world is falling apart. All of it acted like a jammer signal, forcing your brain out of the low-frequency theta state, where quantum magic happens, and locked you into the high-stress beta state. In the lab, we call the theta state the flow. It's the state Thomas Edison used to solve impossible problems, the state elite performers tap into before the rest of the world wakes up. When you are in theta, your microtubules are coherent. They are online. They are receiving. But modern life keeps you stuck in beta. Beta is a survival program. It is great for running from a tiger. It narrows your focus to immediate survival, but it is terrible for building a dream life. You cannot create an amazing future when your brain thinks it's fighting for its life. And when you are stuck in survival mode, your quantum antennas fall out of sync. The signal turns to static. Scientists call this decoherence. I call it the reason why your life feels so hard. The problem is, most people's brains are stuck in this state of decoherence. That leads to confusion, it leads to bad decisions, it leads to depression, anxiety, and mysteriously bad luck. Instead of vibrating in harmony with the universe, your signal is scrambled by the noise of modern life. The line is dead. This is why you feel like you're swimming upstream. This is why you can work 60 hours a week, do everything right, and still feel broke. It's not because you aren't smart, and it's certainly not because you were born broken. It's simply because you are disconnected. Your hardware is perfectly intact, but the signal is lost. For years, I thought this damage was permanent, that once adulthood set in, the window to God mode was closed forever. But then, I stumbled upon a second discovery. It was hidden in a breakthrough study from Yale University that changed everything. It turns out you don't need a time machine to get your genius back. And you don't need to spend 40 years meditating in a cave, because these quantum antennas in your brain respond to one thing above all else: sound, specifically a very precise audio frequency that causes your microtubules to vibrate back into harmony. Think of it like a tuning fork. If you strike a tuning fork and hold it near a piano, the string for that exact same note will start to vibrate automatically. You don't have to touch the keys, you don't have to force the music. Here's how it works at the physical level. When you listen through headphones, the audio frequencies create pressure waves that travel through your auditory canal and into your brain. These waves don't just play music, they create oscillating electrical patterns in your neural tissue. And because microtubules are exquisitely sensitive to electromagnetic fluctuation, they begin to synchronize with the dominant frequency. It's not magic, it's resonance physics, the same principle that lets an opera singer shatter a wine glass with her voice. The physics of the sound does the work for you. It's the secret to waking up your potential. When you expose your brain to this specific frequency, it triggers a phenomenon called quantum entrainment. It acts as a master key to your subconscious. It bypasses your conscious mind. It bypasses your doubts. It bypasses the years of beta programming that told you life had to be a struggle. And it gently but firmly forces your brain back into the God mode. We call it the quantum wave, and it's the first audio ever designed to communicate directly with your microtubules. You see, most brain training programs make a critical mistake. They treat your brain like a muscle. They tell you to work harder, focus longer, and push through the pain. But that's like banging on a piano key harder to make it sound better. The quantum wave is different. It doesn't treat your brain like a muscle. It treats your brain like an instrument that simply needs to be tuned. This approach is based on the groundbreaking work of Dr. Stuart Hameroff and Nobel Prize-winning physicist Sir Roger Penrose. They discovered that consciousness doesn't come from simple electrical signals. It arises from quantum vibrations inside your microtubules. They call this phenomenon OR, Orchestrated Objective Reduction. But you don't need a PhD to understand what it means for your life. When these vibrations are fast and chaotic, beta, you feel stressed, stuck, and disconnected. But when they slow down into a rhythmic, coherent pulse, theta, something magical happens. Your left and right brain hemispheres synchronize. Your subconscious mind unlocks, and your antennas start receiving signals directly from the quantum field. To understand how powerful this is, you need to understand superposition, the proven physics fact that a particle can exist in two places at once. Just watch this short clip from PBS Spacetime. It proves that reality is not what you think it is.
They can exist in multiple states or even multiple places at once in what we call quantum superposition. And these fuzzy quantum properties can also be correlated with other quantum objects.
Did you see that? The ability to be in multiple states at once, to connect across vast distances. That's what happens when your microtubules come back in tune. You stop being limited to one linear path. You gain access to all possibilities, and the research backs it up. Even a renowned futurist and Google Director of Engineering, Ray Kurzweil, reports, from a practical standpoint, treating brain microtubule vibrations could benefit a host of mental, neurological, and cognitive conditions. In fact, it gets even better. One study published in the Journal of Neurotherapy showed that tuning into the specific brainwave frequency can increase your IQ by up to 33 points. That turns an average intelligence of 100 into a genius-level IQ of 133. That's the difference between chasing money and money chasing you. Until now, the only way to reach this state was decades of deep meditation or buying biofeedback machines that cost $7,000 or more. But my team and I have cracked the code. We've isolated the exact frequency that triggers this vibration, and we have encoded it into into a simple 7-minute audio track. We call it the quantum wave. The moment you press play, the sound waves gently guide your brain out of the chaotic beta state and drop you directly into the deep, restorative theta. You don't have to try to meditate. You don't have to visualize anything. You just listen. And as your brain syncs up with this quantum frequency, your reality begins to shift. Old problems begin to resolve on their own. Ideas are fully formed. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. We call this quantum luck, but frankly, luck has nothing to do with it. It is alignment. Before I let a single copy of the quantum wave out into the world, I tested it quietly with 127 volunteers who were exactly where you might be right now, stressed, stuck, and second-guessing themselves. All they did was listen and keep track of what changed. Here's what came back. 87% reported noticeable mental shifts within 21 days, clearer thinking, calmer reactions, and a feeling that life was finally slowing down enough to make a good decision. 41% reported unusual coincidences in the first week, unexpected money, old friends reappearing at the perfect moment, long-standing problems suddenly resolving themselves. 67% said they felt more like themselves than they had in years, like the original version of them had finally come back online. As a scientist, I pay attention to patterns, and this pattern was loud. It told me the signal is real, and when you retune your brain to it, your outer reality starts to rearrange around you. But numbers only tell part of the story. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Take Michael R., for example. He was a software engineer stuck on a massive project. For 6 months, he was brute forcing it, bleeding money, missing deadlines, feeling like the universe was working against him. He was working 18-hour days, but his signal was jammed. But just 3 days after listening to the quantum wave, the resistance vanished. He woke up at 3 a.m. with the entire solution in his head, fully formed. He rushed to his computer and finished 6 months of work in 6 hours. He told me, "Dr. Sterling, I didn't build the code. I just received it. It was like the universe finally gave me the password." Or look at Renee T., a 40-year-old single mom, staring at a stack of final notice bills. She felt unworthy of wealth. She tried to grind her way out, working double shifts, but the hole only got deeper. 2 weeks after retuning her signal with the quantum wave, something shifted. She walked to her mailbox, expecting another threat from a collection agency. Instead, she found a check of $4,200, an old tax refund she'd completely forgotten about. She wrote me in tears, "I didn't earn this. I didn't fight for it. I simply aligned with it." That is the power of the quantum wave. It doesn't just help you relax, it flips the switch back to God mode. And the best part? It starts working the very first time you use it. And Michael and Renee are not alone. The quantum wave has always helped thousands of people around the world break free from the noise and reclaim the life they were meant to live. Take Sarah M., a nurse from Austin, Texas. She told me, "Dr. Sterling, before I found the quantum wave, I honestly felt cursed. I was the person who always got the flat tire on the way to the interview. I was the one who got the surprise dental bill the day after payday. I tried the law of attraction, vision boards, meditation apps. Nothing worked. I felt like the universe was deaf to my requests. But then, on day 3 of the quantum wave, something weird happened. I was driving to work, stressing about a $600 car repair bill. Suddenly, a calm feeling washed over me, and a thought popped into my head. Check the glove box. It made no sense, but I listened. I opened it and found an old warranty paper I'd completely forgotten about. It covered the entire repair. Since then, my life feels enchanted. Parking spots open up, refunds appear. I think of a friend I haven't seen in years, and they text me 5 minutes later. It's not just that I feel better, it's like the universe is finally tuned to my frequency. And then there's David K. from Chicago. He is a high-frequency day trader who deals in cold, hard numbers. He didn't care about chakras or inner peace. He wanted ROI. He told me, "I wanted to stop losing money. The markets have been chaotic lately, and I was second-guessing every trade, buying at the top and selling at the bottom. My instincts were gone. I started listening to the quantum wave in the mornings just to shut my brain up. For the first week, nothing. But on day 11, the chart charts looked different. David didn't just analyze the data, he felt the pattern. I looked at a chart I'd seen 1,000 times, but this time I saw the crash coming before it happened. It was like I could see around the corner. I went against the crowd. My heart didn't even race. I made my entire month's salary in a single morning. My wife says I seem different, sharper, calmer, and oddly lucky. She's right. I finally feel like I'm playing the market on God mode. And finally, there is Elena M. from Florida. She was dealing with the most painful struggle of all, a broken home. She told me, "My house used to be a war zone. My husband and I were like roommates who hated each other. My teenagers were constantly anxious and fighting. I couldn't connect anymore. I started playing the quantum waves softly in the living room in the evenings. I didn't tell them what it was, but the change was instant. The first night, the arguing stopped. My husband, who usually hides in his office, came out and just sat with me. He said, 'I don't know why, but I just feel good being near you tonight.' We talked for 3 hours. Now, whenever things get tense, I press play. It's like a reset button for the whole house. The signal is back. We are a team again. That is the power of the quantum wave. It's not magic, it's alignment. And these people aren't special. They just decided to stop living in the noise and started tuning into the signal. So, here we are. We've reached the moment of truth. You've seen the science, you've seen the proof. You've seen how Google is spending billions to harness the same exact power that is currently dormant inside your head. And deep down, you've confirmed that quiet suspicion you've held for years. I was made for more than this. You were right. You are. Because today, you don't have to try harder to change your life. You don't need to spend years in therapy or buy $5,000 seminars or force yourself into a grueling 4 a.m. morning routine. You just need to retune your brain. And that's why I created the quantum wave, a 7-minute sound technology that does the heavy lifting for you. It's the culmination of over 3 decades of research into neural coherence in the quantum field. But more than that, it's a doorway back to the real you. I know what you're thinking. Dr. Sterling, if this is 1,886 times more powerful than a supercomputer, surely it must cost a fortune. What's the catch? Fair question. Let's put it into perspective. If you wanted to get this result another way, you'd have a few options. Option 1, you could commit to a daily meditation practice. But to reach the theta state on your own, you would need to meditate for 60 minutes a day for at least 5 to 10 years. Most people quit in 2 weeks because they can't quiet their monkey mind. And let's be honest, you don't have a decade to wait to change your life. Option 2, you could go to a biofeedback clinic. This is effective, but clinical sessions start at $300 per hour, and to make a neural shift permanent, you would need at least 20 sessions, total cost of $6,000. Option 3, you could buy your own neurofeedback headset, but the medical-grade hardware used by Silicon Valley executives costs $7,000 up front, and you still have to learn how to operate it without frying your brain. But I didn't create the quantum wave for Silicon Valley billionaires. I didn't create it for people who have $7,000 to burn on gadgets. I created it for you. I created it for dreamers, the parents, the hard workers who have tried everything and still feel stuck. I created it for people who need a win. My private clients pay $7,000 for this protocol. My publishers told me I was crazy to sell it for anything less than $500. They said the science alone is worth 10 times that. But I said no. If I charge $500, I become just another gatekeeper. And because I've cut out the middlemen, no retail markup, no shipping, no packaging. You won't pay $7,000. You won't pay $500. You won't even pay $100. Today, through this page only, you get the full quantum wave system for just $47. That's it. One payment, no subscription, no hidden fees. You pay once, you own it for life. For the price of 1 tank of gas, which will be gone by next week, you get a tool that refuels your life forever. But wait, I'm not stopping there, because I want to make this the easiest decision you've ever made. I'm not just going to give you the quantum wave audio track. If you act today, I'm going to include 3 gifts to accelerate your transformation. These are the exact tools I usually reserve for my private clients to ensure the results stick. But I want you to have them today as a thank you for taking this leap. Free gift number 1, the Quantum Shift Journal. Value $97, yours free. Here's what happens to most people. They listen to the quantum wave and forget to notice what's changing. They miss the synchronicities, ignore the lucky breaks. Their logical beta mind dismisses everything as coincidence. And when you dismiss the signal, it fades. The Quantum Shift Journal fixes that. It's built on a quantum principle called the observer effect. The act of observing something changes it. And by taking just 60 seconds a day to log your glitches in the matrix, you force your reticular activating system, RAS, to accept the new reality. It scientifically proves to your brain that the connection is back online. It's valued at $97. Yours free today. Free gift number 2, the Breath of Earth Grounding Track. Value $67. Yours free. The quantum wave is powerful, sometimes too powerful. It can leave you buzzing, mind electric thoughts racing, feeling almost too activated. That's a sign your antennas are working. But high voltage needs a ground wire. Breath of Earth is 11 minutes of pure audio frequency tuned at 7.83 Hz. The Schumann resonance. This is the electromagnetic heartbeat of the Earth itself. It helps the excess energy out of your head and grounds it into your body. No voice, no guidance, just raw, stabilizing physics. It's valued at $67. Yours free today. Free gift number 3, the God Mode Quick Start Guide. Value $37. Yours free. The God Mode Quick Start Guide tells you exactly how to use the quantum wave for maximum results, when to listen, how to prepare, the one mistake that kills your session, and how to lock in the effects after you press stop. No guesswork, no confusion, just a clear path to God Mode. It's valued at $37. Yours free today. So let's recap. Here's everything you're getting. The Quantum Wave audio program, the 7-minute theta audio track that flips the switch back to God Mode. Value $297. Free gift number 1, the Quantum Shift Journal, the daily log that proves your signal is back online. Value $97. Free gift number 2, the Breath of Earth Grounding Track, 11 minutes of pure Earth frequency to ground your energy. Value $67. Free gift number 3, the God Mode Quick Start Guide, the exact protocol for maximum results. Value $37. Total value $498. But you won't pay $498. You aren't even paying $100. You get everything today for a one-time payment of just $47. But you need to act now. We've already had larger publishers reach out, asking to license this technology for their high-ticket programs. And if we do, this $47 offer will disappear forever. But I didn't create this to make corporate suits rich. I created it to help you. So I want to make this an easy yes for you. I'm going to remove 100% of the risk. When you click the button below, you're protected by my unconditional 90-day money-back guarantee. Here's how it works. Download the Quantum Wave today. Listen to it for 7 minutes a day. See what happens. Watch how your anxiety melts away. Watch how ideas start flowing. Watch how luck starts finding you. And if you decide it's not for you for any reason, simply email my team. You get every penny back. No questions, no hassle. In fact, I will let you keep the Quantum Wave, even if you ask for a refund. That's how confident I am this will change your life. You literally can't lose, but you have to make a choice. Right now, you're standing at a crossroads. You have 2 options. Option 1, you can close this window. You can go back to the noise, the stress, the grind. You can wake up tomorrow feeling exactly like you did today, tired, stuck, and swimming upstream. And you can wonder for the rest of your life what might have happened if you just clicked the button. Or, option 2, you can take a small leap of faith. You can invest 7 minutes a day in yourself. You can plug your brain back into the signal that runs the universe. You can watch as the money blocks dissolve, the relationships heal, and the impossible becomes your new normal. You can turn the God Mode back on. The choice is yours. But please, don't let this moment pass you by. Click the button below now, and let's wake up that genius inside you. Still here? I get it. Over the past few months, we've received thousands of messages about the quantum wave, and while every story is unique, the questions tend to be the same. Let me take a few moments to answer the ones I hear the most. The ones you might be asking yourself right now. Number 1, will this really work for me? If you have a brain, and if you've been exposed to stress, fear, or chronic doubt, then yes, the quantum wave can work for you. You see, this isn't a mind trick. This is physics. Your brain responds to frequencies. Every EEG scan proves it. And the quantum wave is precision engineered to bring your brain into theta, the gateway to intuition, creativity, and emotional clarity. You don't need to believe for it to work. You just need to press play. Number 2. How soon will I start seeing results? Some people feel a shift within minutes, a strange calm, a clearer head, or a sudden insight. Others notice it after a few days. A decision becomes easier, a relationship softens, or an idea lands. And for some, the changes are cumulative. Over weeks, stress dissolves, finances shift, and momentum builds. Your timeline depends on how long your signal has been jammed, but every time you listen, you're retuning. Number 3. What if I miss a day? Don't worry, this isn't school. You can't mess this up. Yes, daily use gets the fastest results, but if life happens and you skip a day, or even a few, just pick it back up. You can't break the process. Just keep listening. Number 4. Can I use this with other practices like yoga, journaling, or meditation? Absolutely. In fact, the quantum wave supercharges everything else. When your brain is in theta, you're more receptive to affirmations. You go deeper in meditation. Your journal entries become richer and more intuitive. You don't just do those practices, you finally feel them. Think of the quantum wave as your brain's warm-up, the foundation for everything else. Number 5. Do I need special equipment? Just headphones. You can play the quantum wave through regular speakers, but for the full effect, I strongly recommend headphones. Over-ear headphones are ideal. The isolation helps the frequency reach your brain faster, but standard earbuds work fine too. Number 6. Is it safe? Yes, 100%. We don't alter brain chemistry, we don't stimulate or sedate, we simply entrain, guiding your brain back to its optimal frequency. You've felt theta before. It's the state right before you sleep. Deep meditation, creative flow. We just help you access it. On demand. There are no side effects, just benefits. Number 7. What if I don't feel anything at first? Some people are more sensitive to subtle shifts than others. That's okay. Even if you don't consciously feel something on day 1, that doesn't mean it isn't working. Think of it like tuning a guitar. You don't hear the harmony until all the strings are finally aligned. That's what the quantum wave does. It retunes your system. And sometimes the first shift isn't a feeling, it's a decision you suddenly make without fear. It's a thought that used to feel impossible and now feels obvious. Number 8. Can I listen while working or driving? No, and this is important because the quantum wave is designed to guide your brain into a deeply relaxed, meditative theta state. It should only be used when you're in a safe, quiet space. Never listen while driving or operating heavy machinery. The best time? Right before bed. Think about that time each night between wake and sleep when your brain floats from one thought or feeling to the next. That's when the brain is naturally closest to theta, so the shift happens faster. Early in the morning works well too. So let me ask you something simple. Can you really afford to keep doing the same every day, knowing now what's actually sitting inside your skull? I've seen people stuck for decades flip the switch back on. Their entire life changes, often faster than they thought possible. And remember, you're still backed by the 90-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee. You don't have to commit. You just have to try. Say maybe, because sometimes the smallest yes becomes the biggest breakthrough of your life. You've been given everything you need to make the change. You've seen the science. That brain is a quantum antenna designed to receive insight, clarity, and creativity. You've heard the stories of people just like you, struggling, searching, exhausted, who found something in the quantum wave they didn't even know they'd lost. You felt the truth, that somewhere along the line, you were disconnected from yourself. And now, for the first time in a long time, you're being handed a way back. Not a course, not a guru, not another self-help to-do list. Just a 7-minute sound experience that reconnects your mind with its original signal. This is your bridge to the real you, to the version of yourself that doesn't flinch, doesn't doubt, and doesn't force your way through life. This is your life retuned. No more chasing breakthroughs, no more waiting for permission, no more feeling like you're missing something no one ever taught you. The key was always inside you. The quantum wave just turns it. Today, you get access to everything. The full quantum wave audio program, yours for life. Bonus number 1, the Quantum Shift Journal, a $97 value. The 21-day tracking log that uses the observer effect to lock in your results. Bonus number 2, Breath of Earth grounding track, $67 value, an 11-minute Schumann resonance audio to ground your brain. Bonus number 3, God Mode Quick Start Guide, $37 value, the exact protocol, when to listen, how to prepare, and how to stack sessions for maximum effect. That's $201 in bonuses, yours free. Plus, instant access via secure email, no shipping, no waiting, and the 90-day, no questions asked 100% money-back guarantee. All for just $47. That's it. No subscriptions, no strings, no tricks. Just a decision. I don't know what brought you here. Maybe it was coincidence, maybe a late-night Google search, or maybe it was a prayer you whispered last week when you were alone in your car, asking for a sign. Well, this is it. This is your sign. If you've been asking God, the universe, or a higher power for help, if you've been waiting for a signal, here it is. You don't have to live in beta, stressed, anxious, and alert. You don't have to stay stuck in everyday reality. You don't have to feel like your life is happening to you anymore. You can step into flow, into clarity, into connection with your deepest, most miraculous self. And it starts with one small, quiet act. Click the button. So maybe that's enough. Try it, because this might not just be the thing that changes your day. It might be the thing that changes everything. I can't wait to hear your story. I'll see you on the other side.